Welcome to Paulogia, where a former Christian takes a look at the claims of Christians. Though today the focus is on this YouTube channel, where it's at, where it's going, and how you can help. It started just over 5 years ago as a place to put time capsule thoughts for my children during a time when my continued health was uncertain. In the early days, this side hobby was focusing on the young earth creationism of Ken Ham and Eric Hovind, which led to real-world interactions with both. I started having guests on the channel. Not my original intent, or I'd have planned this whole cartoon motif much better. I shifted some focus to counter-apologetics, and had my work acknowledged and considered worthy of countering by names like Craig, Strobel, Turek, Lycona, Habermas, and McDowell. I met my partner, Shannon Q, and so many other amazing creators whom I admire and from whom I learn. Some have become good friends even outside the YouTube sphere. My primary goal remains, and will always be, to produce content that would speak to the kind of Christian that I used to be, and to the lost former believer that I became. It is among my greatest joys to hear from viewers who have been helped in some way by Paulogia, by introducing them to new information, different ways of thinking, alternate perspectives, or even merely putting expression to unarticulated thoughts. Thanks to you, the channel has had over 17.5 million views and 4.3 million hours of watch time. But to me, those achievements matter only as an indication of lives touched and minds changed. Unfortunately, the kinds of videos I produce for Paulogia are very time-consuming, each one requiring extensive research, writing, recording, editing, animation, and illustration. Each one a labor of love. A 30-minute video typically represents about 30 hours of time. That can be tough to do each week alongside a full-time job and commitments to family. Over the years, generous supporters have helped financially to help make feasible this sacrifice in time. And I am so eternally grateful for my supporters, past and present. To say this wouldn't be possible without them is a huge understatement. But all the while, I've been hungry to do more and to be better. Last month, as it became clear that my longtime software engineering project was winding down, rather than recommit to my day job, I decided it was time to take one of those leaps of faith I speak against and commit to Paulogia full-time. This is simultaneously tremendously exciting and enormously scary. The most obvious outward indicator of this change has been the launching of a second channel called Paulogia Live, where I've been finding my footing in non-scripted content and with my non-cartoon face in front of a camera. I'm excited about the opportunity to address timely topics, respond to common apologetics, host panel discussions, and have direct discussions with Christians and Christian apologists. Behind the scenes, I've been budgeting, consulting with experts, working on the physical and technical infrastructure needed to scale up production, formulating content plans, setting up conversations, putting in motion an extra intensive research series that I've been wanting to do for a long time, investing in further education, and dedicating some brainpower to long-term plans, including written content projects. I have a grand vision for Paulogia that is going to be beyond what I can achieve on my own. If this channel is to reach its potential in positively impacting lives, I'm going to need you to partner with me. The easiest way to help is to keep doing what you're doing. Watch the videos that interest you, interact in the live chat, leave a comment if it sparked a thought or question, and maybe share the link if someone comes to mind who would be interested. If you're not already, it'd be great if you'd tap on the subscribe button on this channel, as well as for Paulogia Live. The benefit to you is that you're better alerted to new content. At this point, subscriber counts are an almost entirely irrelevant metric of channel engagement, but potential advertisers and sponsors are still hyper-focused on those obsolete vanity numbers. So it helps perception, and I appreciate it. The next few months are going to have more expenses and less revenue. So if you've ever considered one-time help, this would be a great time. There's a PayPal link in the description that's most direct, but there's also a brand new feature on YouTube called Super Thanks that lets you leave a quick and easy tip on this or any of my videos, starting at just $2. If you're so inclined, I also have an Amazon wish list in the description that you can use to help provide for the big and small practical needs of the channel, including equipment, research material, and coffee. I love packages from viewers. Speaking of which, I also have a post office box in the description. While the next little while will be important, what's going to be most valuable to the long-term Paulogia mission are regular supporters. Many helping a little is best. Going to patreon.com/Paulogia is the best way. It asks for a per scripted video pledge, but it's easy to set up a monthly cap of any amount you want, as little as $1. And every dollar pledge is so appreciated. If that's not for you, there's also the option of becoming a channel member directly on YouTube by tapping the join button here at Paulogia or at Paulogia Live. I suspect members will have more fun at Paulogia Live, since the perks include live chat member markers, custom emojis, access to the member chat, and maybe even some member exclusive content. And finally, and I'd like to thank you in advance for your patience as I experiment with sponsorships for the first time on the channel. I'll try to keep them as relevant and non-intrusive as possible, but that's a way to keep the lights on at no expense to you. If that happens, your feedback about how it's working will be very welcome. I don't want anything to take away from the main mission of the channel. So ultimately, this is exciting news for Paulogia. The usual scripted content you've come to expect will continue as always. There will be new content series that are more like long-term documentaries rather than responses. There's a new live channel for timely topics, unscripted responses, hangouts, conversations, and viewer interaction. And while I'll need to spend some time making sure that the bills are paid, I'll also be able to be more focused and mindful about the mission of the channel. An honest, informed investigation of the claims of Christians to help myself and others find truth through an informed, well-considered worldview. One last concern that isn't lost on me is the potential for future use by Christians of the quote attributed to author Upton Sinclair. It is difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on not understanding it. By going full-time, I do put myself at risk of not only the accusation, but also of falling into the trap. And so, while in good faith I believe I have demonstrated a commitment to finding truth even when it means admitting where I am wrong and adjusting my beliefs accordingly, I hereby invite my viewers to hold me to task on this as we go. Besides, as people like Lee Strobel and J. Warner Wallace can attest, the real money is in being an atheist turned Christian. If that ever happens to me, I invite you to be suspicious and play this clip over and over. Thank you so much, as always, to everyone who has supported this channel in any way so far, and for sticking with me into our bold new future. Until next time, back to the claims of Christians. Later.